face.
Okay.
First of all, how's everyone doing?
Hey y'all.
Blendy the Wendy here. And sometimes you get pulled into some things. You just have to go with the flow.
Yeah, I did pull him into this this segment on today, simply because I wanted his knowledge coming from a man's standpoint, because we're talking to the single ladies today. We're coming to the single ladies because of a question that we were posed with last week when we did one of our segments on brokenness. So we are coming back at you talking about brokenness, and I really appreciate this young lady for reaching out indirectly and asking that question, that she asked. And we want to thank our viewers for listening to us, for continuing to follow us on Facebook at Blended and Winning, and those of you who have subscribed to our page on YouTube, Joaquin and Stacey Loper. We really, really appreciate you, and we just want to thank you for taking in what we're giving out. And we just want to give all the glory to God, because He has truly called us. We believe He has called us to do this.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we're really just coming here. I'm here for moral support today. I really want to give the perspective from a man's point of view about the single woman's question. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yes. So last week we had a young lady who reached out via social media, and her question was so intriguing to myself and to my husband, because it's interesting that a woman would ask this question. But one of the things that we normally do with our clients or with anyone who's just reaching out is we don't directly go forward and just answer the question for them. We like to get a little bit more information on them, on who they are, how they see themselves, and what their expectations are for themselves at this particular point in their life. But the question that she asked was, can someone give me advice or their opinion on why am I still single? And we thought that was pretty darn interesting for a female to say, why am I still single? Yeah. So we posed a couple of questions to her so that she could truly think about the answer to this question, because really only she can answer that question. And my husband was when he sat down and talked to me, he was just so open, and he was like, Stacey, that's a very good question, but we can't answer that question for her, and nobody else for that matter can answer that question for her. But my first question to the young lady was, do you want to be single? And of course, she was like, no, I don't want to be single. So I told her, I said, I have a couple of follow-up questions that I wanted to ask you. And I asked her, I said, what are you doing to prepare yourself for a relationship? I said, what are you doing to get yourself whole so that you can be everything that man needs you to be? And I asked her, I said, I want you to think about this from this standpoint, from an emotional, spiritual, and a financial standpoint. What are you doing to get yourself prepared for that relationship? Because when you begin to bring somebody else into the fold, you got to know you. You have got to know, you got to know you, and you got to love you. You got to know what it is you like, what you don't like. What are your non-negotiables? What are some of those things? So she answered me back, and she says, to be honest, I'm not doing anything. And I told her, I said, I appreciate your honesty, because before we can begin to help you, we need you to be honest with you. I shared this with her, and I want every single woman who is listening today to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. I shared with her, I said, singleness is hard. I said, it makes you as a woman doubt yourself. You begin to devalue your worth. You compromise your character, and you settle for much less than you deserve. Yes. I shared with her, I said, if you are truly ready to be in a relationship, I said, I encourage you to take 60, 90, 120, 108 days, however long it takes you to get to know you, get to love you. In order for you to prepare yourself to be with and focus on someone else, you first have to know who you are. And I just find that's what a lot of our young ladies who are still single, that's what they lack, is they lack knowing who they are. Yeah. They lack really loving themselves. And it's just so difficult for them to truly put themselves into a relationship when they haven't dealt with their brokenness. Because there's so much that they have in there. There's so many walls that they built that they just will not let down, because they're viewing these men and they're looking for something to fill a void that they have not tried to fill themselves. What are your thoughts before I move forward?
I think everything that she said was very on point. Ladies, if you truly don't know yourself, it's going to be hard for me to please you, because you're going to think the things that I'm doing because you want them, but you really don't know who you are. Right. My wife touched on quite a few things here. If you're not getting yourself ready financially, so you don't need to depend on a man. Absolutely. If you're not getting yourself ready spiritually, most important, so you can stand on values and have non-negotiables that you're not budging from. Right. People are going to take advantage of you. And the most important thing I got out of the question, as I started thinking as a man, is, how do you view men? That would be my question. How do you view men? Why is it that you're single? Because I don't have an answer for you. Not a direct answer, but you need to start understanding, how was I raised? Was I raised in a single parent household? Did I see men do some things to my mom, or did I grow up around men doing bad things? So how is my outer view of men when I look at them?
Or if I was raised in a single parent household and it was just my mother, then I see my mother with multiple men, which distorted my view of what I should look for in a man, or if I should be with just one man. Yeah. You have all of these factors that play into why you're single and moving forward into a relationship.
And especially if you've been hurt in the past by men, whether it be a father, absent father, right. Ex-boyfriends, ex-husband. Right. Yes, you have to deal with all of that. So how are you viewing men? Do you expect the next man to hurt you if you've been hurt before?
Right. Or do you bring that expectation into that relationship when you meet that man? And that's unfair to him. So you definitely have to look at that. Yep. So some questions that I want my single ladies to really begin to think about when you're going through this process of getting to know you and getting to love yourself again and getting to deal with your brokenness, your own mess, or the baggage that you may, possibly bring into a relationship. So these are some of the questions. What do you love about you? What are your non-negotiables? What pushes that anger, that frustration button for you? What really makes you smile? What emotion don't you deal well with? These are just a few things that I want you all to evaluate about you so that you will be able to recognize them in others. That man is going to come with expectations. He's going to come with some things that he may be dealing with, or he may be walking out in his life as well. Are you emotionally ready to deal with that?
Or emotionally well enough to help him through that?
Yes, absolutely. That's great. Yeah. That's really good.
So if you're broken, it's going to be hard for you to help another broken person get well.
Absolutely. So single ladies, I want to encourage you, don't be afraid, because fear is going to come at your heart. It is going to bring you some pain. But when fear comes at your heart, it's going to feel like you're faithless. So you got to continue to have the faith. You got to continue to know and build yourself so that you're prepared for whatever that relationship may bring. If it brings pain, if it brings joy, how are you going to deal with that? And then it's all about your mindset and where you are in your walk with God and knowing who you are and whose you are. Okay, so I highly encourage, my single ladies to get yourself whole, start working on you. And there are going to be some things that you're not going to really find out about yourself until you get in that relationship or until you get into that marriage. Because we found out a lot of things about ourselves when we were married that we was like, well, I'm dealing with that. Oh, yes. I got to, I got to bring myself back from that. So start working on you, really getting yourself together, and ask yourself that question. what do I need to do? Or ask God, less of me, more of you. God, exactly. What is it that's not of you, that's in me? And I want you to allow God to help you purge that. Get that out of you, because you don't want to take that into a relationship and hurt a man that's coming into your life that's good for you, because you got all of this stuff that you're carrying in this with you.
Yeah. And it's great to have expectations and expectations from people. However, the expectations from a man really based on how you carry yourself. Truly, listen to this, single women. I promise you this. Singleness is not a bad thing.
It's not.
As long as you're single, you can grow to be who you are. Just find out who you are. Singleness is not bad.
It's not.
You just because everyone else around you may have somebody, that doesn't mean you need someone. They may not even be happy.
Right.
Find out who you are. Learn to love you. Learn to love God. Build yourself up so no one, not even a man, can come in and break you down.
That's it. That's
the thing.
Yes.
One thing I love about my wife, everything she's been through, it built her to be a strong woman. Stubborn, strong.
Can be a little bit.
And I love that about her, because she wasn't going to allow me or anyone else to come in and break her with my words or my actions. And she would tell you real quick, I can do bad. I can do bad on my own.
Yeah.
So I'll always be to that point. Never be to a point where you actually need someone. And that's why I encourage all single women, try to leave the physical stuff out of it.
Yes.
Then, it's easy if you truly want to. Just practice on it. Never put yourself in a situation where your body and your flesh is going to take over.
It blinds you to seeing those things that you need to see in that relationship with that individual. It totally blinds you, because you begin to push it off, and you're like, okay, well, that was just then, or he won't do it again. He apologized. All too familiar.
Yeah. And one thing from men, most men don't like to say, but at the end of the day, women, you all hold the key and the treasure to really what most men are out there after. And once they get that, they're going to truly show you who they are. So before you give your most precious gift away, find out who they are. Value yourself. Because if they value you, they will understand, and they won't mind waiting.
And they will not pressure you. Yeah. You won't have to go through that. And understand, single ladies, that you are not the sum of your past mistakes. Exactly. You have been forgiven. Start forgiving yourself and begin to move forward from there and say, okay, I messed up here. So let me get myself back on track. Utilize God's word to bring you back to where he has you, so that you can know who you are and whose you are. Yeah. You are not the sum of past mistakes. Yeah. Don't believe that about yourself. That's a lie that the enemy wants you to believe. Yeah. He is a lie.
Yeah. And no man, no family member, anybody can condemn you. So don't listen to words. Know who you are. Yes. And the best way to know who you are is to get to know Christ, and Christ show you who you truly are and truly your purpose.
Yes.
And from there you walk it out.
Yes.
So,
my single ladies, be encouraged. He is out there. He will find you, because a man who finds a wife finds a good thing, and he finds favor with the Lord. And that's from Blended and Winning.
I'm telling you, she's special. She's so extra. Anyway, single women, be encouraged.
Yes.
We love you all.
Yes.
And please feel free to reach out anytime, and we will give you our most transparent and answers and undivided attention.
Absolutely. Right? So, my single ladies, be encouraged. And I'm going to go out with this one more time. All the single ladies, 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 all the single ladies. We love y'all. Now put your hands up.
Bye, everyone.